everyone, it is Solidus Links back once again for part 6 of my Infinity Mode playthrough. Now you're probably wondering, what the heck am I doing surrounded by all these books? This looks nothing like I was in the last video. Well, it turns out I got a bit bored between the last video and where we're at now. Last video I was outside camping with a bunch of wine and a bunch of other food items, and I got the Outdoorsman trophy, as you no doubt saw in the beginning of this video, which I clearly edited. Right, Brett?
Yeah, very evident.
I totally shoved that screenshot in your face, even though I have no idea if I did or not, because I'll figure that out later in editing. So, but yeah, I got Outdoorsman, and I didn't record it, but I managed to get a picture of a screenshot of me earning it. So, I mean, well, actually, I didn't even do that. The PlayStation did that itself.
What could be better than a picture of a screenshot?
Right? Like, the console itself takes pictures of the moment you earn a trophy. So,
I was not aware of that.
but I couldn't figure out how to, like, save, like, the picture itself without, like, taking a picture of it on the screen. So, it turns out I'm going back to my 2013 tactics all over again of using high-tech devices to film / take pictures of stuff on television screens, which we'll never do.
I'm not surprised.
But anyways, what we're going to do now is we're going to move to another area where there is a psychopath by the name of Sean. Now, Sean is in Wonderland Plaza, so we're going to go Paradise Plaza first to get to the shortcut. He has 3 healing items, 3 food items, I should say. He appears in the Wonderland Plaza from 2 days and 7 hours, and we're 2 days and 19 hours, so look at all that time that's passed. So we're going to go to Wonderland Plaza, meet up with Sean, and he's got 3 healing items that we're going to try and get from him. Sean, of course, is the cult leader from the story mode, although there's none of his cult members here in Infinity Mode. It's just him, himself, and he, if that makes any sense. So we're going to go right in here and take the shortcut. Man, I'm still giggling about that. So, Brett, before filming this video, he took it upon himself to demonstrate the efficiency of how he plays Monster Rancher on his cell phone. He of course, is a big fan of the Monster Rancher video game series, and I was always someone who enjoyed watching him play it in the background. Never really played it myself, but I liked watching him play it. And, see, yeah, I'm going to try to get this queen because it's helpful to have with this crowd. Whoa, here, Sean, Jesus.
Jeez, what are you, Sean?
Alright, so that was over and done with. Anyways,
Those butterflies, look at you.
yeah.
They're worms, aren't they? Maggots.
Maggots. So, what were we saying earlier? Oh, Monster Rancher.
Monster Rancher, and when I play it on my phone, I have it on a PlayStation 1 emulator, and I have an option on the program called Toggle Frame Limit, and it probably bumps it up to like 2.5 times speed, maybe even up to 10, because it's honestly...
There's no way that's just 2.5 speed.
Yeah,
like,
that's fair.
It's way too Sonic for
It's
that.
probably close to 10. Maybe 6. I don't know. It plays it very fast. It's really hard to scroll through menus, which is 80% of that game.
Yeah. I always got the impression that that game was mostly like a lot of planning rather than the actual gameplay itself.
Big time.
Whereas Pokemon was kind of like an even 50-50.
Yeah, it's much more just playing centric.
I'm just going to go ahead and eat this cheese.
Better than leaving it behind.
I feel like I'm going to be camping a lot in this playthrough, more so than I did the last one, because...
Just gotta explore more things.
Well,
that's safe.
When I last played Infinity Mode on the Xbox 360, I didn't have much of an idea what I was doing, and I still made it through 7 days. It's really not a hard goal to accomplish, it's just tedious as all hell, because it took up your entire day. And I've said this like on and on in little previous videos, but...
No.
But it really, though, it's such a problem for people to get in the old version because the Xbox 360 didn't have the suspend feature. So you literally had to have your whole day reserved for that one achievement, which always drove me wild. It always eluded me until I actually had a full day as an adult to come after this achievement.
Yeah. Look at this hard.
Yeah. Some sort of party going
Very
on
dense,
over here.
yeah.
Something going on here. Contemporary purses. They're trying to get the latest.
That's what it is.
They're trying to get the latest in fanfare fashion, aren't you, buddy? Aren't you? Nope.
Nope.
You cannot has purses. Alright, so, what else can we talk about? I think, oh, you know what? Netflix. I remember there was another movie that I saw recently on Netflix called Velvet Buzzsaw.
Velvet Buzzsaw.
Yep, and it stars Jake Gyllenhaal, Rene Russo, and it's directed by... I can't remember the director. I think it's Dan Gilroy or something like that. I know that those exact people were involved with a movie called Nightcrawler that came out in 2014, and I absolutely loved that movie. I love Nightcrawler, so I figured, of course, since the exact same people were involved with Velvet Buzzsaw, I figured, you know what, this sounds like it'll be a good watch. So basically the story is, it's about an art critic and a bunch of people who are working at an art museum, and this girl discovers a bunch of paintings that are in a dead guy's room, and once she gets these paintings, the museum starts passing her off as like the artist of those paintings because they're unlike any other paintings they have ever seen, and they want to lay claim to them. But over time, as the story of the film unfolds, mysterious events start happening with those paintings. And it actually turned out to be a horror film. I never expected that it would. I never expected that it would be a horror film.
Kind of like psychological horror, I think they called it, wasn't it?
I think it's more of a thriller.
That was the term, sorry. Thriller is the term.
Yeah, Nightcrawler was a fantastic thriller. Velvet Buzzsaw, on the other hand, I thought was kind of meh. Because I think my expectations were too high after having seen Nightcrawler and seeing that the exact same people, mostly, were involved with this film. I thought that it would be better, or more or less on par. But, I don't know, just like the whole reasoning behind the powers of the painting. What did they're eating Sean. Okay, have at it, guys.
Bye, Sean.
I don't know, I just didn't really find it all that interesting. Like, it never really... I don't expect movies to explain everything whenever there's some far-fetched scenario that goes on in a movie, but I like to have a few bones thrown at me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like to have some things explained, or at least a potential for something to be explained away. Even if it's half-assed, like, I'd rather have something than nothing.
Yeah.
It's just, it felt a little too super.
You kind of need to at least address the most common questions.
Yeah.
You don't need to necessarily answer them, but at least address them in some way.
Yeah, and I don't really feel Velvet Buzzsaw did that a whole lot. I just didn't really think the characters were all that interesting, except for Jake Gyllenhaal. He's fantastic in any movie he's in these days. He's like one of the best actors today.
He made that movie, what was it, Source Code? Was that a movie he was in?
Yep.
He made that movie not terrible, and it was like one of the most boring plots I've ever seen in my life.
I haven't seen that movie myself, and even I have figured that was pretty mediocre. But since Jake's in it, he alone makes me consider wanting to see it. But maybe not. I don't know. We'll see.
It was pretty bad.
So there probably won't be as many more parts in the Dead Rising Infinity Mode series. Not as much as the last one, anyway. The only reason to keep filming from this point out is to check out all the interesting things that happen in Infinity Mode. By interesting, I mean all the different survivors and psychopaths that you encounter, like Sean, for example, who was made trivial thanks to the small chainsaws. And I found out, actually, that small chainsaws are not the highest damaging weapon in the game. I always figured laser sword was, and I was correct. But I didn't realize, like, the common items in this game that do more than small chainsaws do.
Like what?
Well, there's an item called the shelf that literally does more than a chainsaw.
What is it? A shelf?
It's literally called shelf.
Where is it? Find one. Find a shelf for us, please.
I have to find a shelf, because now I can't stop thinking about it. Like, when I read it on the Dead Rising wiki, I was like, how? How does a shelf do more than this one-handed instrument of death? And then there was something else, like a metal shelf or something like that.
Ooh.
And no, steel rack it was called. It's steel rack.
Ah.
I remember. Here's an apple. I remember watching.
Why don't you eat it?
I don't want to right now. It heals 6 health blocks. And
will it still be there?
Yes, it will.
If you don't touch it.
If I don't touch it, yeah. And if I do pick it up, then
it's gone.
Yeah, it gone. Unless it stays in my inventory. But yeah, steel rack, and then the sausage rack was another item that came up that did more damage than the small chainsaw. Ooh. And the sausage rack is only found in the meat area, the meat processing area that's in the maintenance tunnel. That is a fun place that I definitely plan on visiting later, because it is absolutely swamped with these dudes. Absolutely teeming with zombies.
Just full of them, huh?
Loaded. Whoa, that was louder than I thought it would be. So, yeah, there's gonna be times when you play Infinity Mode and you're just gonna be either wandering around or staying place in one spot doing nothing, and that's really the nature of Infinity Mode. If you don't want to suck, anyway. If you want to get 7-day Survivor, be prepared for a whole lot of boredom. That's all I can say. Have you played any other games on your phone? Like, there's Monster Rancher 2, of course. You enjoy playing that. And then you're playing something else right now. Hearthstone, yeah. I never really played Hearthstone. Wasn't really into, like, the whole card game thing. Like, there's Yu-Gi-Oh! And that's about it.
Honestly, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Magic, Hearthstone, all their, like, games are pretty near the same. Minor differences. But, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a bit different. They exchange, like, using mana for tributes and stuff, but, like, not that much different otherwise. That's a bit, son.
Yeah, that's something you do not want to happen on Infinity Mode, so...
How much time... Excuse me, would you say you have whenever that pops up?
Probably about 2 minutes.
Well, that's not much time.
Something like that, yeah, that's what the door is for. So... I'm gonna fetch my cable really quick, but yeah, what were you saying about Hearthstone and games in general?
Like, with Magic... the rules are very similar. Like, if you understand how to play Magic, you'll probably do fine at Hearthstone.
Yeah.
But, like, once you understand what, like, keyword text is, it really all just falls into place. And there's not that many. There's probably, like, 10 major different keywords, and everything else, you just read it and think about it, and it'll pretty much explain itself.
Oh, you thought you were going to get a piece of me, were you? Nope. You get pieces of you instead. Ha-ha! So yeah, I have decided that the next game that I play after this Infinity Mode series will be Left Alive. It is a game set in the Front Mission universe, and I plan on buying that on day 1. I have no idea what kind of game it will be. I mean, of course I do. I know it's a third-person shooter and all that, but I don't know if it'll be any good or not, is what I'm saying. The main reason that interests me regarding that game is because one of the main artists of that game is the same artist of the Metal Gear Solid series, and I absolutely adore Metal Gear Solid, especially Metal Gear Solid 3, as it is my favorite game of all time. I think the story in that game is absolutely unparalleled with anything else in the video game industry to this day.
Unmatched.
It has a solid beginning. It has everything is solid. The protagonist, the antagonist is one of the most sadistic sons of guns you'll ever see in a video game. Colonel Vulcan is a bad dude.
Shut your mouth.
Bad dude. Why is Frank panting? Like, I didn't get damaged that much.
I don't know, you're at 3.
You know what? I have enough food anyways that I'm just gonna drink this wine. I don't even care. But yeah, Metal Gear Solid 3, one of my favorite games. I played it like 6 or 7 times or something crazy like that. I've beaten it on European Extreme before, and I was in the middle of a European Extreme playthrough on my YouTube channel a while ago, actually. But like I said, I got burnt out by taking on too many projects at once, and the Metal Gear Solid 3 European Extreme playthrough has been on indefinite hiatus since then. Look at all these handguns. Look at them.
That's a lot of handguns.
It's a lot of lead.
Sure.
So, if
Can
Metal
we-
Gear Solid
Yeah,
3... If Metal Gear Solid 3 ever came to PS4, I would definitely replay it in a heartbeat. But in the meantime, I am looking forward to playing Left Alive and see how it turns out. If for nothing else than the fact that I may be one of the few people who actually bothers to play it. I don't think many people are excited for it. I know it's set in the Front Mission universe and people are itching for a new Front Mission game. But from what I've seen, it doesn't really look like a Front Mission game. I believe that one involved mechs a whole lot and piloting mechs. Kind of like the... What series am I thinking of? Mech Warrior and...
Mech Assault.
Armored Core. That's what I'm thinking
Oh,
of. Armored
yeah.
Core. That's another series that was done by the FromSoft. The guys who made Dark Souls. So, oh God, I hate that. Something that happens in this game a lot, like, you'll just be minding your own business, and then all of a sudden Frank does a roll like that. And it happens
I
so
thought that
often.
was you.
No, well, like, it technically is me. Like, it's supposed to be double tapping in the same direction, but the PS4 controller is so sensitive that it happens a lot more than it used to. But in Dead Rising 2, they corrected the dodge roll so that you click the thumbstick instead of double tap. So you don't get any more accidental dodge rolls into hordes of zombies.
Well, yeah, that can pretty much do you in.
It happened now and then in the Xbox 360 version, but it didn't happen enough that it really bothered me. It was just kind of a minor nuisance, but here it feels like every minute or so. It's just really annoying. So yeah, not a whole lot else to talk about, but I figured we'd keep showing you what we're doing.
Touch base.
Touch base, sort of. My goodness, need to slow down.
Look, you're there again. There's gonna be so many handguns.
I'm still in Monster Rancher mode. Like I'm talking, everything is still fast in my brain, and my mouth isn't catching up. I can't believe how funny that is. I'm like one of those people who cannot get over hearing something that's so crazy. Like I cannot get over when something doesn't sound the way it's supposed to. Like warped music just drives me bonkers. Whoa, Jesus! Didn't know you could break the glass like that. Did an accidental wall kick for the boys. There we go. So the next video that I do, you probably will see me jump farther ahead in time because there's not a whole lot else to really show and talking about. It's more or less the same thing, just going up against different psychopaths and survivors, and just to show you how easy it really can be to get 7-Day Survivor. So, in the next video, we'll try to tackle another psychopath. So in the meantime, thanks for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for the next part.